Mo is the newest Mythic Brawler coming to the game, and he is the third and final member of the Castle Courtyard trio, along with Ash and Grom. He's a blind rat that was found in the sewers of Star Park, and while we don't know exactly who it was that found him, he was adopted by Grom, so it was probably Grom. He now works with Grom and Ash on the maintenance team over Star Park and is specifically in charge of the sewers. Mo uses his digging machine to easily navigate underground, and I guess he also uses it to cause a lot of chaos, which doesn't make Ash very happy.
Job done, innit? £1 your shovel, £2 your pair.
Stick around to the end of the video for all of his pins and voice lines. Mo's main attack is Shovel Slinger. Mo uses the shovels on each of his hands to fling rocks across the ground. Now, each rock skips across the ground once before stopping, and both time it hits the ground, it breaks into 4 pieces that each travel in different diagonal directions. The first skip will send the projectile slightly further than the second, so the second set of projectiles will cover a smaller area. Now, these projectiles do not pierce through targets, and if the rock hits a target directly before the second break, it will stop on the target and the second break won't happen. I've only been able to hit normal bots with 2 projectiles from a single break, but as you will see in Mo's tests, there's a sweet spot on larger targets where you can get all 4 of them to hit the same target. Mo's super is Mo's machine. Mo uses his machine to burrow under the ground and then pop out of the ground at the end of his attack range. Whatever enemies are in the machine's path will take some damage if they're hit, and when he pops out of the ground, enemies hit by that will take double the damage and get knocked back. The most surprising part of Mo's super is that he stays in his machine after using his super. He's only in it for a few seconds, but during that time, he uses his drill as his main attack, very similar to how Draco uses his dragon's fire breath. It has very little range, but it deals 680 damage multiple times per second, similar to Amber's main attack. Now, Mo already has a fast movement speed while on foot, and while he's inside his machine, it gets even faster. Using the drill attack will make him even faster, and you can't even use all of the machine's ammo before Mo's time runs out, so you might as well just hold down the attack the whole time and try and get somebody, right? Another thing I love about the super is that it can go under walls, so it will get past anything. Also, Mo's super will also be charged the whole time while he's inside the machine, and you can use it to instantly exit the machine if you need to get out early for some reason, because it does have a short range and his regular attacks do have a longer range. Mo's first gadget is Dodgy Digging. When Mo activates this gadget, his super charge rate is increased for 5 seconds. Since his super is charged automatically while he's inside of his machine, this gadget only affects his main attack. Mo's second gadget is Rat Race. This gadget can only be used while Mo is inside of his machine, and Mo uses it to dash forward and break whichever walls are in its way, very similar to Stu's gadget. And while you can use this gadget to knock enemies back, it doesn't deal any damage to them, but that is absolutely very useful in Brawl Ball to try and knock the ball out of their hands. Mo's first star power is Skipping Stones. This star power just adds an extra skip to all of Mo's main attacks. So instead of each rock breaking into pieces twice, they'll break 3 times. The star power doesn't actually increase the range of his attack, but it makes the attack cover more area and there's a chance to deal more damage. Also, the extra skip only covers the same area as the second skip, so its area will be smaller than the first. Mo's second star power is Speeding Ticket. Uh-oh. This star power increases the speed that Mo moves while he's underground using his super. Now, to get the most out of Mo's super, you need to hit the enemies at the very end of his attack. And this star power helps you do that because otherwise it's kind of easy to dodge since you can just see him moving through the underground. Just imagine how many more dynamite supers you would land if you threw them faster and they took less time to explode. This basically does that. Now that we've looked into all of Mo's abilities, let's compare him to all the other brawlers in the game using the Brawler Olympic tests. First up is the survival test, and Mo doesn't have anything to help him with this test, but I do want to mention here that while he's in his machine, Mo actually has 400 less health than while he's on foot. So as soon as he exits the machine, he gains 400 HP no matter what he's at. If he uses the super while he is below 400 HP, then he will go down to 1 health, which I thought was kind of funny. Mo survives for 18 seconds and ties with Clancy for 56th place. That's out of 83 brawlers, so it's not super great. Up next, we have the attack range test. Mo's attack can be thrown 7 1/3 tiles out, and the second time it breaks off, the projectiles travel about 2/3 tiles past the reticle. With a total range of 8 tiles, Mo ties with 6 other brawlers like Tara for 52nd place. Next is the box test. Mo can deal some insane damage to the boxes with his main attack if he's standing in just the right spot. And because his attack uses several projectiles, he can deal damage to multiple boxes at the same time. He completes the box test in 48.2 seconds, which puts him in 47th 10th place. That's close to halfway between the 83 brawlers in the game. Next is the super range test, where Mo is better than half of the brawlers for this test and moving forward. Similar to Mo's main attack, his super stretches across 8 tiles, but it has a small radius that goes past the reticle for a total range of 9 1/3 tiles. He ties with 5 other brawlers for 40th place and has a slightly above average super range. Next is the reload test, and there's something interesting about Mo that might be changed in the future. It's that whenever he gets in or out of his machine, his ammo instantly gets fully reloaded. But it made more sense to not let him use his super in this test, since it's most helpful to see how his normal reload speed compares to other brawlers. He unloads and reloads 10 ammo in 18.2 seconds and gets 35th place. Next is the swarm test. Now Mo uses his super to easily take out the whole first 2 rows of the bots. Instead of using his drill to take out the last 2 rows, it's just a little bit faster to charge another super and use it. Mo defeats the swarm in 4.2 seconds, which puts him in 34th place. Next is the area test. With some help of his first star power, Mo's able to break 37 skulls with just his main attack. His super also breaks 37 skulls, and even though his gadget doesn't deal any damage, it does break 12 skulls. He breaks 86 skulls in total, so he gets 26th place. Next is the super damage test. Now Mo's super damage is kind of weird because it will deal different damage to you depending on where you get hit by it. The most I've seen it do to a single target is 6,000 damage, because you can get hit by it near the end of the path for 2,000 damage and then get hit for the 4,000 damage at the end of the attack. 6,000 damage gives Mo 18th place in this test. We have the splash test. Mo uses his super right at the start to deal damage to all the boxes at the same time. He is then able to take all of them out with his drill just by breaking them open individually. Mo completes the splash test in 4.2 seconds, which puts him in 10th place. Next is the 3 attack kill test. Now Mo can deal 4,800 damage with just 1 ammo, and that's with or without his first star power, since the rocks only break once at close range. Again, I haven't been able to deal that much damage to a brawler, but against larger targets like a heist safe, Mo's able to deal 14,400 damage with 3 attacks. So he ties with Daryl and Meg for 8th place. Next is the auto aim test. As we saw earlier, Mo's attack can reach over 8 tiles away, and because of the direction that his projectiles go, one of them can hit Nita at max range just by auto aiming. He deals 1,200 damage from 8 tiles, so he ties with Bo for 5th place. Next is the assassin test. Now Mo does the most damage over time by using 2 ammo to charge his super, then using his super and then exiting his machine as fast as possible to instantly reload all of his ammo and repeat the cycle. In 3 seconds, he's able to deal 38,560 damage, and that is insane. It puts him in 4th place. Next is the boss test. Now Mo uses the same strategy as the last test to take the boss out as fast as possible. Now I will mention that his super goes to the center of the nearest target if the super is auto-aimed, no matter how close the target is. I'm thinking this might be a bug or something that may change eventually, since you can't manually stop the super early if you aim it, and it can only travel one distance, but I don't know. As for now, Mo defeats the boss in 8.1 seconds, which puts him in 3rd place. Next is the race test. Now Mo gets a solid head start by using his super, then his second gadget to quickly dash forward. While using his drilling attack, he is so fast in his machine that he's able to finish the race test before he even exits the machine. It only takes him 5.9 seconds to cross the entire map, so he gets 3rd place. Next is the supercharge test. Normally it takes 7 projectiles for Mo's attack to fully charge his super, but with the help of his first gadget, he's able to charge it with only 5 projectiles. Either way, it's still technically only 2 ammo, but it will definitely make a difference in most cases. He charges his super in 0.4 seconds, and that puts him in 2nd place overall. But his best test is the hitbox test. Now, not every brawler has the same hitbox. This means that some brawlers like Frank are very slightly easier to hit than other brawlers because he has a larger body. His box is easier to hit. You can see this comparison right here with Frank and Crow to see what I mean. It's very slight, but it does make a difference. Now this is kind of tricky to measure, but Frank is confirmed to have a larger hitbox than normal, and previously Crow had the smallest hitbox in the game. After extensive testing, I can confidently say that Mo is at least tied with Crow for the smallest hitbox in the game, and he might have an even slightly smaller hitbox than Crow. That's not confirmed, and I don't think it's the case. Either way, he at least ties with Crow for first place. Or last place if you want a large hitbox for some reason. Mo's stats honestly look really good. He did very well in the Brawl Stars Olympics, but how good is he actually going to be in each of the game modes? Let's speculate a little bit. First up, we have Gem Grab, and we're going to put him in the A tier. He actually has a decent amount of health for holding gems, and his main attack covers a large area, which is great for map control and also even checking bushes. I think he's going to be best at assassinating an enemy gem carrier and then just using his machine to escape rather than to try and take out more brawlers. And I think that he would be an S tier brawler if he had a little bit more range and maybe a little bit more health, but A tier for Gem Grab seems perfectly fine. Next, we have Brawl Ball, and I'm going to put him in the S tier. Mo is going to be so good in Brawl Ball. His super being able to travel as far as it can without taking damage, knocking brawlers away from him, giving him an insane speed boost in a form that doesn't require ammo to shoot the ball, and having an instant super charge during that whole time just seems like the perfect combination for Brawl Ball. It's insane. If he has some kind of support brawler on his team that can heal him or give him a shield, he's going to be able to score so easily, and he is definitely S tier for Brawl Ball. Next, we have Heist, and I'm going to go with the B tier. Even though Mo's main attack does have the potential to deal some crazy damage to the safe, it probably won't be that often that he'll be left alone right next to the safe in order to deal all that max damage. I do like how easy it's going to be for him to actually get to the safe with the super, but he still has to be right next to it in order for his drill to actually do anything, so I don't know if he's going to be able to do a lot of damage against the safe against decent players. I'm going to give him B tier in Heist for now, maybe A tier if you're lower in trophies. Next, we have Bounty. I'm going to go with A tier. Mo doesn't have the range that I think that he needs in order to be an S tier Bounty brawler, but his fast movement speed will allow him to be used and chip away at enemies. If he's able to charge his super, it's basically going to be a free kill, which in Bounty, you might only need one, even if it takes the entire game to get that, right? Might be a little bit generous, but I'm going to give him the A tier for Bounty. Next, we have Hot Zone, and he's definitely going to be S tier here as well. His main attack pattern will make it really easy to land on enemies inside the zone, but the biggest thing is, once again, his super. It doesn't matter how much map control the enemy team has, as long as Mo has a super, he will be able to deal tons of damage and help his team regain control of the map. So I think the S tier is definitely fair for him. Next is Knockout, and similar to Bounty, it's probably going to be tough for Mo to charge his super, but once he does, it's basically a free kill. And if the smoke closes in enough, the knockback from his super will easily help his teammates take out 2 enemies or just wipe the whole team. He still doesn't have the range or survivability for S tier, but A tier I do think makes sense for him. Now for Solo Showdown, let's go with A tier. He doesn't struggle as much to open up a box if he can just chip away at the people until he charges his super, and I could see him being a top tier bush camper. Honestly, I can already see just like 2 people battling it out only to be rudely interrupted by a giant rat machine out of nowhere, and then he just uses the drill to collect the power cubes and go back into hiding. It's going to be kind of insane. And I think that he's going to be A tier in Duo Showdown as well. Since his super can knock back multiple targets at once, it's probably going to be slightly even better for duos than solo. That being said, it might be a little bit more risky for him to dive in on 2 enemies that are on the same team rather than just one. But his super might also be a really good ability just for getting out of sticky situations and surviving long enough for his teammate to respawn. I think he'll be slightly better for duos, but definitely not S tier, which is why I went with A tier. Mo is definitely not a tank, but he can deal quite a bit of damage, and his super is looking like one of the strongest in the game. I want to know what you guys think about him, so let me know as you're listening to all of his voice lines and checking out his pins. Subscribe so you don't miss the Kenji Olympics.
You gotta dig a tunnel or 2. Sneak, sneak, squeak, squeak. In and out, all sneaky like. Quicker than using the apples and pears. Straight from the underground. I will undermine you! Activate tunnel vision! Rat-a-tat-tat! Rock and roller! A little bit ooh, a little bit You want some? Have it! Have some of that! Oh, I got flushed out! Back to the sewer! It was all a pipe dream. I feel like a drowned rat. Meet me outside. I need a cuppa. I feel like a right plonker. Oi, that ain't fair. Are you having a laugh, mate? Oi, leave it at. Don't mug me off. Oh my days. I'm dodgy, but need to dodge better. I will have you, mate. Have a go if you think you're hard enough. Poop scoop. Lulling you into a false sense of security. I'll show you how to fight dirty. Ha ha ha! Ha ha! Hoo-hoo-hoo! See you in the underworld! Ha ha! Always cleaning up other people's mess. Job done, innit? You didn't pass the inspection. Waste disposal, innit? Remember to flush. Ha ha! I'm no sewer rat. Hoo-hoo! Can you dig it? No hard feelings, mate. Ha ha! Hoo-hoo! Smashed it, mate. That was class. Area has been sanitised. King of the rats. Ha ha! Ha ha! Rodents rule! Hoo-hoo! I won the rat race. £1 your shovel, £2 your pair. Every day I'm shoveling. Sanitation rocks the nation. Let's dig up some trouble. Dig, dodge and destroy. Borrow and brawl, I'll bury you all. I know all your secrets.